The last thing that I need to do here in Illustrator to get this ready for animation is to separate each piece that I want to animate into its own layer. So for this particular text, all of my letters are connected, so I'm not going to have as many pieces as I would if my letters were not connected, they weren't cursive. So right now I'm just going to have this lettering layer that has basically all of my letters, and then I want to put my cross and my T in a new layer. So I'll just click the new layer button, drag that up, and then double click to name it. And then I'll do the same thing with the dot on my I. And then the rest of this I'll just name lettering. And you can delete your reference text layer if you want to, or you can keep it there if you'd rather keep it for reference later. If you're working with letters that are not cursive, they're not connected, then you're going to want to separate each letter into its own layer, or even each part of each letter into its own layer. So I'm going to go into my one layer that I have right here, and just click over here, and you'll get a little square, and then you're going to go up to this hamburger menu right above that, and then go down to Release Layers to Sequence. And now you'll see that it's released each different thing, each different piece, into its own layer. But all of these layers are nested under this layer 2. So the first thing that I need to do is take everything that's under layer 2 and drag it up above layer 2. And that's really important. You don't want any of your layers to be nested because in After Effects, they'll all be still under one layer. And we want them to be all separate layers. So now you'll see that I have this layer 2 that has nothing in it, so I can just delete it. And then I have each piece in its own layer. And I'm going to animate each of these separately. And it's actually put my guide layers into their own layers as well. And I don't need these guides anymore, so I'm just going to select those and delete them. And then I'm going to go in and name each part of my letter and make sure that the layers are in the order that I want to animate them, just to be organized and make it easier when I go to animate. So I want to make sure that this A is first, and I'll name this A, and then like this will be A cross bar. And then if you have duplicate layers, just name them A2 or whatever the letter is, and then A2 cross bar. And then make sure you save this file. And when you're working between Illustrator or Photoshop and After Effects, it's really helpful to have all of your files for one project in the same folder or group of folders. So I'm going to just save this in a new folder called Lettering Animation. And I'll name this Lettering. And then I'm also going to put that into a new folder called AI, so that I'd have all of my Illustrator files in one folder, and then later I'll also create a folder in the same level that's called AE for all of my After Effects files. Now if I go in and change where my lettering Illustrator file is located after I've already started using it in After Effects, After Effects is going to come up with an error that it can't find the file that it's looking for. So you need to make sure that you're really organized, and once you are using files in After Effects, that you don't go moving them in your file structure. So just hit save, and you can just hit OK for that message, and you're ready to animate.